A lot of people are talking about schools, so we wanted to talk about it as well. And joining me is Dr. Nikolai Vitti. He is the superintendent of the Detroit Public School Community District. Dr. Vitti, it's good to see you. Could you kind of put into words what this has been like for you and leading the district in these last 3 weeks and having to change, turn on a dime, everything that you're doing and concentrate in entirely new and different ways?
Yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard. I think more than anything else, just emotionally knowing the negative impact the virus is having on families and individuals. I think that's probably the hardest part of all of this. And what we've been trying to do is just stay very much proactive in our communication and transparent regarding where things stand with us and then what's happening at the state level.
Tell me a little bit about what are parents saying and what are kids sharing with you?
Right now, what we're hearing from parents is a level of frustration, honestly, about the need for more learning to take place at home and the reality of the digital divide. We only have about 10% of our 50,000 students that are actively using the online platforms that we've provided because a lot of our families don't have access to a device or internet access.
And the crisis really has shown the stark inequality between our districts across the state. And that really is the conversation that many people are having now. So you make the case for saying, look, we should shut down for the rest of the year, move to an online platform. What does that look like for the Detroit district? And what do you need then to put in place? And what do you think should be put in place across the state?
Well, I commended Dr. Rice's decision, the state superintendent, that learning should not be required and learning shouldn't be given with grades or credits. And I think the reason he did that is because he does recognize the inequity throughout our communities regarding access to consistent technology. And if he didn't do that, then what we would have is a situation where the haves would continue to accelerate their learning with grade accumulation, credit accumulation, and just advancing at a faster pace than other families who economically don't have access to the same technology, or just the human capital that parents exist with multiple degrees or a degree period. So I commended him for that. I do believe that if schools are shut down, we should still be providing learning opportunities, just not required for a grade. One of the reasons why I've advocated to shut down is so that organizationally we can shift to providing more resources to families in this online type of platform and environment. And instead of waiting to suspend school every 2 to 3 weeks, we just say we're shutting down, and then I can completely shift. We can train teachers on more online platforms. We can rally the business community to try to get a device and internet access to every family. And then we just expand the resources online and continue to print packets for parents and students to complete at home and possibly turn that in for feedback. But we're prepared as DPSCD to shift the learning platform and just the delivery of instruction to a more online basis. That could mean using Teams as a technology platform, using FaceTime, using videoed lessons, and simply just calling in and touching in with students. 80% of our families have already been reached out to from school-based administrators and teachers, and we just want to continue that momentum, but tie it specifically to learning opportunities.
You know, we continually have the conversation of falling behind, falling behind, falling behind. What do the test scores say? What does this do, I guess, for your students? What do you think it does for Michigan as a whole, and how do we regroup from this?
Well, anyone who tells you that we haven't lost time instructionally or we haven't lost learning is just telling people what they want to hear. At the end of the day, you can't replicate being in a classroom with a certified teacher with a regular pace of instruction and assignments and feedback, coupled even with testing. So we've lost instructional time and we've lost instructional learning. Again, I just want to be direct and admit that up front. Now, I think we have to try to make up for as much lost time as possible and just continue the brain working through this crisis for our children. So they're still reading, they're talking about what they're reading, they're writing, they're doing mathematical problems, just to keep learning ongoing in a consistent habit of theirs. But there's no question that when we hopefully start regularly in the fall, what I've seen is that when people come back, they come back with a renewed sense of urgency. a sense of purpose that time is now of catching up. And I've already seen so many of our employees stepping up with reaching out to parents, videotaping, providing feedback now. And I just think everyone's going to be much more charged, appreciative of one another, of just what we do as educators.